Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Mess. So, taking out a very fun and very random episode, guys, this evening, because just yesterday, Dr. Robotnik's Ring Racers released for free for everyone, and it is a kart racing game built in the Doom Legacy engine. That is right, this is running on a modified version of Doom, and that is the first strange and intriguing thing about this game, and trust me, there are a lot more coming. But before we get too far involved, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down below as well. But I'm still not really sure what to make of Dr. Robotnik's Ring Racers. This is a kart racing game, but the tutorial seems to be one of the longest things I have ever played. That does not mean it is not fun. It's intriguing, has a ton of mechanics, and it absolutely looks gorgeous using the Doom engine. But again, I haven't actually gotten to a race in this game, and I've been playing this tutorial for over like an hour now for capturing on this video. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but I'm sure we will learn in the future. But as far as what this game actually is, the idea of the Sonic the Hedgehog universe having a kart racing game inside of the Doom engine just feels like something that somebody is whole cloth making up for a voiceover like I am right now, except it is the truth. This is using Doom Legacy, but of course it is in the Sonic the Hedgehog universe, and if you get further into the tutorial, trust me, you get a lot more mechanics that I'm showing you off the top. But this is just such a wild game. I will leave a link to it in the description below. There's a lot of people involved, so their credits will be down there as well. This is a labor of love, taking everything from Sonic the Hedgehog, turning it into a new like open world platform racing game, and then putting it inside of the Doom engine. Those are things that you do not think would go together, but as you can see here, if you really look at the graphics, you can tell how it is drawing and how close it is to the actual Doom first-person shooter in its technological ways. There are so many mechanics in this game: charges, boosts, how to hit switches, different tricks, stunts, drifts. This basically has a mechanic for absolutely everything you could possibly imagine. And again, I'm just not sure exactly what's going on in the tutorial here. I'm not sure if this is an elaborate troll or if the tutorial lasts over an hour. I just keep going and going and going, and the game just keeps giving me more and more tutorial area, and honestly, there doesn't seem to be any way to skip it. The best part is the tutorial is very fun, and it kind of feels like a platform Sonic the Hedgehog game that takes place on a kart, so it's very like there's two games in one in this thing. And it definitely has that Sonic the Hedgehog flair. You're going to be going around loops and doing all manner of things that are definitely not possible in the physics of the real world, including driving underwater after hitting a loop-de-loop. But I'm pretty sure if this was the real world, Tails would have snapped his neck from the force of that water the minute he touched it. But luckily in the Sonic the Hedgehog universe, he lives to drive another day. And trust me, there is a kart racer in here somewhere. This is the trailer that the team published. I'm going to show it to you in just a moment, and you will see that there actually are some racing levels in here. But honestly, the tutorial is so intriguing and so long, that is still where I am. But this is what they've been showing on Twitter, so take a quick listen to the trailer while you watch some gameplay footage. You'll better understand what may be coming in Ring Racers if you can just get past this tutorial.
Hang up your sneakers because Dr. Robotnik and his ex-enemies are going go-karting. Use the untapped potential of rings to supercharge your vehicle across more than 200 crazy courses. With over 20 unique items and some of the hottest moves on this side of the floating island, this is racing at the next level. Dr. Robotnik's Ring Racers. Out now for home computers everywhere. For free.
So yeah, there's definitely a kart racing game in there somewhere. I just need to find it, and so will you. But I do appreciate the fact that developers just said, screw it, we're going to make you play this game the way we want you to. We spent thousands of hours developing it. We want to teach you the mechanics before you let you do anything else. And this is basically a platforming game in and of itself on a kart before you potentially even get to any of the actual races. But of course, this is still the early days. This thing came out less than 24 hours ago, so I'm sure a lot of you will uncover more things. Leave me a comment down below if you play this or you plan on playing it, because what I've seen so far is very intriguing, and it does make me want to get further into the game and find out exactly what's going on and what other mechanics it has to show, because it has absolutely everything in here, it seems. The best part is it is a fun game, and it also has a really fun soundtrack, so go ahead and listen for like 45 seconds, and I'll come back and show you more about what Ring Racers actually is. But enjoy! fun music and it's got a nice tone to it. As we move further in, you're going to see just how many tricks this game will throw at you within inside of the Doom Legacy engine. We have these rotating platforms and the physics completely change when you're trying to drive on them. You need to be really careful to get across, and there are so many different tricks in this game to be able to make you to drive and perform better. It seems like every single concept has been thrown in here, plus the kitchen sink, but it does seem to work for it. And of course, with the visuals in the Doom Legacy engine, it just feels both like a Sonic adventure game as well as a game style that you've never seen before, all put together into one. And that's what really just kind of trips me out about this. This feels like a very unique and very designed by intention experience. You have spin dashing and everything else. Some hills you cannot get up unless you spin dash, and I think what the game's trying to do here is teach you every single mechanics. When you get into the races, you know exactly what to do. But again, I'm just not sure about what's exactly going on here. I have never seen a tutorial for a game that runs this incredibly long. I'm sure it was by design, but at the same time, there's something about playing this that kind of feels slightly 10% disconcerting. Not in a bad way, but just in a way that you're never quite sure what's coming next. You'll see as I move further in and I get back to Dr. Robotnik, or Eggman as he's more colloquially known as, they're teaching you even more stuff. I'm like 15-20 minutes in and they're just talking about drifting, a button I've had since the beginning. But I will say the drifting mechanics, just like a Mario Kart game, are quite competent once you get the hang of them and how the physics work in the world. It does take a second or two to really understand that, how to drift and how to use the boost from the drift to your advantage, but once you get used to it, it feels like second nature. But there's definitely a lot of places where the game just penalizes you. If you hit anything wrong while you're drifting, you die and you need to learn again. This game is going to demand some precise controls out of you, including in situations where there is a gigantic missile shooting at you and you need to drift and use that boost to get away from it to safety. And this is what I mean when I call this a platform arcade kart racing game. It kind of mixes both genres together, feeling like a platforming game at the same time that it feels like a kart racing game. And when you get underwater, the physics change again and those drifts become even more difficult. But you'll see here I'm just trying to outrun this little missile and I'm doing a pretty good job at it. When you're doing this, it does start to feel so fun and so intense, and it really makes you wonder what this game is going to do next. And I think that's what's most effective about this game. The sense of discovery and the sense of wonder about what's going to be around the next corner. Because like I said, I played this for almost an hour and I haven't actually seen a race come up once yet. There's a ton of story, there's a ton of training, there's a ton of weirdness, and that I think is what is the most intriguing. There's so many mechanics. You'll see here that you can do a fast fall when you hit springs and try to navigate yourself around in the air like you were doing platforming in a Doom game. Once you get the hang of it, it is quite easy, but it does take a second to understand exactly how the physics work and how you need to circumnavigate the world to be better at it as you move on. But once all of these mechanics start to click, you start to do really well at your driving, it does become so immensely fun and so immensely different than pretty much anything else I've ever played. It becomes that intriguing experience that you want out of a fan game, because trust me, this is thinking about the Sonic the Hedgehog universe and games that can be in it in a completely different way than anything you've ever seen before. And of course, it is a Sonic game, so we have a trick mechanic as well that's going to allow you to do mid-air maneuvers, basically changing your direction when you're just floating around. You'll see here we're going to do it one more time. If you hit up at the right time, once the timer and those two discs get closer, you can get an upward boost and move yourself around. But Dr. Robotnik's Ring Racers is still just confusing to me. I'm not really sure what this actually is. I don't know if the tutorial ever ends. I don't know if that trailer is just an elaborate meme and it's just a platforming game. I don't know if the tutorial has another 10 minutes or 10 hours in it. But definitely check this one out. It is available for free. I left the link down below. It is one of those titles that you just need to play to experience. You can 100% tell this is a labor of love. There's a lot of fun to be had here, even if I'm not sure what's exactly going on. But short of that, definitely check it out, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.